Hello, welcome to yoga class today. Let's explore yoga, starting off in a reclined position. Coming onto your mat, connect your back, shoulders, head. Simply coming into the space. As you position yourself onto the center of your mat, know that in this particular class sequence, I will incorporate the use of a strap and blocks. So if you have those props available in your home space, just make sure to have them close to your mat. Before we start to incorporate the physical movements, postures, transitions, we'll start off just coming into stillness and connecting with our breath. So from this reclined position, go ahead and tuck your chin towards your chest, lengthening the back of the neck. Let your eyes close. Just simply noticing how it feels to be in your space. Making a transition into your practice. Letting this time of practice be all about you and what you need. Moving your body, shifting energy, serving yourself. If you have an intention other than serving yourself through your practice today, please take a moment to let that come in, accept it, and honor it. Now inhale deeply through the nostrils. Exhale for a slow release. Continue to deepen the breath with each inhalation. And slowly release with each exhalation. As you connect with your breath, feel this neutral spine supported with the ground. And now preparing to invite some physical movement into the body. We'll start off by grabbing the strap. Now, if you don't have a strap, you could always use something else in your home space, like a tie or a scarf. Some people even use a rolled up blanket. So I'm gonna take one end of the strap to the arch of my right foot. Now with my hands, I'll walk my hands up the strap. I want my leg to be straight as possible. And then I'll gently start to pull the strap and the leg towards my body. Now that's gonna deepen the stretch at the hamstring. So this is where you're gonna decide how much intensity you want, how deep of a stretch. To continue to deepen the stretch, you're going to continue to pull the strap towards you. You might continue to walk the hands up. Now, we don't want to cause pain or major discomfort. So if it's way too intense, then you're going to back out by giving the strap some slack. Opposite knee is bent, sole of the foot to the mat. And then from here, keeping the hands on the strap, extend your left leg. So your left heel comes down to the mat. Notice if that changes the sensation at the right hamstring. Simply observe in this moment. Now, giving the strap some slack, just enough to bring your foot to neutral. As you inhale, point your toes up to the sky, and as you exhale, flex your foot. Inhale, point, feel into the top of the foot. Exhale, flex, feel into the calf muscle. Let's take one more. Movement following the breath. And bring the foot to neutral. Take the right hand onto the strap. Release the left arm out to the left. Take an inhale breath. And as you exhale, slowly start to open the right leg out to the right. Now feeling a nice stretch at the right inner thigh. The left hand can assist by gently resting onto the front of the left hip. So if you feel that left glute coming up, just let your hand rest to the front of the hip as a reminder to keep it down. On the next inhale, lift the right foot up, back to center. Now from here, bend your knee. As you bend your knee, just release the strap. Take both of your palms to your right shin. Keep bending that knee, let the fingers interlace, and pull the right knee towards the right shoulder. So rather than bringing the knee into the chest, we're sending it out to the shoulder. This is our good old wind relieving pose, a great opportunity to release any extra air you might have in your digestive tract. Anytime you have digestive discomfort, this is an awesome option to come into. Here we can also get some ankle mobility by drawing circles with our right big toe. And then circling around opposite direction. Now by moving the foot around, the strap probably released. That's okay. You can take it out to the side. Back to it in just a moment. For now, open that right arm out to the side. Take the left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Gently guide the right knee over to the left, and at the same time, focus on keeping that right shoulder down. Now the head can stay neutral, gazing up to the ceiling. To deepen the spiraling of the spine, you can look over to the right. If this hurts your neck, you can look over to the left. You decide. Feel into the back space. Spinal twisting is also a great opportunity to help aid in digestion and detoxifying. Slowly and gently come out. Release that left hand. On an inhale breath, lift the right knee up. Roll on to the back. Gently set that right foot down. Now coming into the other side, first just straighten that right leg. Notice how the right leg feels. Notice how the left leg feels. The right leg probably feels longer. We've done some lengthening, so let's even that out on the other side. Now we'll go ahead and bend both knees, soles of the feet meet the mat. Coming back to our strap, taking one end of the strap to loop onto the foot. Straightening the left leg as much as you can, now walking the hands up the strap. Taking your time to let that hamstring start to slowly open up. Through my research, I found that it takes the hamstrings a full hour to open up. So we want to be really easy with them. Take your time to come into it. There's no need to rush. We don't want to have an injury, so take it slow. Checking in with yourself, noticing how much you want to intensify the stretch, and noticing when you've gone too far. Serve yourself. Take care of your body. And this time you might come back to your breath, noticing the integrity of your breath, and taking the time to see if you can re-lengthen. Inhaling all the way to the top of the breath. Exhale, release slow, slow, slow. Now just release any pull on the strap. Bring your leg to neutral. Inhale, point the toes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, flex the foot. Inhale, point. Notice how good that feels. Exhale, flex. And then bringing the foot to neutral. From here, we'll bend the knee. And as we bend the knee, we'll take the palms to the shin, interlace the fingers. Actually, before we do that, straighten the leg again. We missed one. We certainly don't want to do that on this side. Lengthen that right leg, heel to the mat. Now from here, simply just pause. Notice if you feel more sensation at the left hamstring with the right leg down. And then from here, we'll start to release that right arm. Slowly open that left leg out. Give yourself time. Remember that right hand can come to the right hip. Gentle reminder to keep the right hip down. Now feeling to the inner thigh on the left side. Depending on your body, you might even feel this on the right side of the back. So figure out where you need to stop, where is too far. Noticing in my own body, I'm a little tighter on this side. And then inhale, rise up. Good. Now we'll bend the knee. Release the strap. Take the palms to the shins, interlace the fingers. Keeping that right heel down and the right foot flexed, pull the left knee into the left shoulder. Wind relieving pose. As you hold here, come back to noticing your breath. And at the same time, decide if you want to draw circles with your left big toe for ankle mobility. And then circle around opposite direction. Bring the foot to stillness. Release the left hand, open the left arm out. Now take the right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Gently guide the left knee over to the right. So we're coming into our spinal twist on this side now. Simply feeling into the back. Noticing if we want to look to the left for a deeper spiraling of the spine. Maybe we gaze straight up, keeping the neck neutral, or maybe we look over to the right. Try all the options, see which one feels best in your body. Now release that left thigh. As you inhale, lift the knee up, roll onto the back. Send the left foot down and then straighten the left leg. Now feel into the left leg. Feel into the right leg. The legs probably feel a little more even now. Before we come into a different station of the body, let's take an opportunity here for happy baby. So bending the knees, lift the feet up. And with the knees bent, open the knees as wide as you can. Take your hands to the back of the knees, the ankles, or you can take your peace fingers to hook onto your big toes. Happy baby. We want the tailbone to stay flat on the mat. So if the tailbone lifts at any point, then maybe your reach is at a different position. So maybe to the ankles or the back of the knees. And then in the happy baby, let yourself explore. So maybe you rock from side to side, feeling into the muscles of the back. Make sure the head stays on the mat. You might decide to explore deeper, straightening one leg as the opposite knee stays bent. And if that option feels good in your body, then maybe explore that on the other side. You might even feel comfortable enough to straighten both legs at the same time. I find when I do this, I also get a really nice stretch at the outsides of my feet. Now, wherever you are, Bend the knees. If the legs are straight, bring the legs down, release the hands. Take your hands to the back of the knees. Now start to rock up and down the spine, getting some momentum coming onto your seat. Now, if that's not comfortable, you don't have to do the rocks. You can roll over onto one side and make your way up that way, whatever you choose. Now, as you come into a comfortable seat, let the legs either position in front of you, or you can bring your legs out to the side. You can sit directly onto your mat, or you can be in a kneeling position on top of the block if that's better for you. So if you haven't done this before and you're wondering what this looks like, the block can go underneath your seat, giving you a little lift. And I find that this is really beneficial for people that have some knee issues. This gives a bigger angle, so there's less compression. So just know that this can be part of your toolbox, and you don't need a block. You can use a pillow or a folded up blanket, anything in your home space that can help assist you. So now from the seated position, just making sure that you're comfortable in whatever seat you choose, let your hands relax onto your thighs. Take a deep inhale through the nostrils. And as you exhale, tuck your chin towards your chest. Nice stretch for the back of the neck. Option to stay here, or you can make half circles. As you inhale, taking your right ear above your right shoulder. And as you exhale, chin to chest, and then left ear above left shoulder. Inhale over to the right. Exhale to the left. Your movement following your breath. Taking time to release tension and congestion from the neck space. And then eventually finding your way to center. Lifting the chin, gazing forward. Take a full round of breath here. Now bring your hands forward. Let the palms meet. Maybe the fingers interlace. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, release the hands, bring them behind your back. Now here the hands can interlace. If they don't make the connection, this is where you can use your strap. Taking the strap between the hands, and then inhale, lift the hands up, opening the heart, the chest, the shoulders. Nice stretch for the biceps. Exhale, bring the hands down. Release. Take the hands to the front. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, release. Take the hands behind. Inhale, lift the hands. Exhale, let it go. One more full round. Take it to the front. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, release. Take it behind. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Shake out the shoulders, just shimmy them away, let any tension go. Just relax the shoulders away from the ears. Now from here, I'm going to show you how to incorporate the strap. You might not need it, but just in case, bring it close. Go ahead and lift your right arm, fingertips towards the sky, and then bend your right elbow. From here, the left arm comes behind your back. See if the hands can meet. Think about that right elbow pointing up to the ceiling. Now, feeling into the upper arm, the tricep area. If you have trouble getting your hands to meet, you'll take the strap in the right hand, bend the elbow, and now when you bring your left arm behind your back, your left hand can reach onto the strap. So with the strap or not, I'm just going to change the positioning of my body so that you can see whether you're using the strap or not. Feeling a nice stretch at the right upper arm and focusing on opening that left shoulder. Now, if this is new to you, you will probably find that one side is different than the other. So let's release. Just open the arms out, let them relax down, and let's try that on the other side. So inhale, lift the left finger straight up. Exhale, bend the elbow. Now the right arm comes behind the back. Maybe the hands or the fingertips meet. If so, think about that left elbow positioning up towards the ceiling. Now, for me, I've got a shoulder limitation on my right side. So for me, it's more comfortable to use the strap on this side while I'm working with that shoulder. And now I'm being safe with my body and taking care of it because this is the only body I'm ever going to have. So I don't want to hurt it. I want to continue to provide these videos for you. So it's very important for me to take care of my body, and it's very important for me for you to take care of your body so that you can keep it healthy and continue to practice and feel good. All right, so now we're going to let that strap go. We're going to release the arms. Again, shake the arms out. Let the tension go. Then from here, changing the station of our body from seated to kneeling. Reach your hands forward. Use your energy to lift your hips. From here, reposition yourself so that your wrists are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips. Looking at your hands, spread the fingers wide. Look between your knees. If you can see your feet, open them out until you can't see them anymore. From here, as you inhale, let your belly lower towards the mat. And as you exhale, lift your back. Nice stretch across the top of the back. Inhale, belly lowers. A little back bending for the spine, extension. Exhale, lift, arching the back for flexion. Let's take one more full round. Movement following the breath. And then coming back to a neutral tabletop, start to draw circles with the hips moving in one direction. And then circle around opposite direction. Back to center, look at your hands, rotate your fingers to the edges of the mat. And then rotate the fingers towards the knees. Now we want to think about keeping the palms flat on the mat. We're going to take a stretch for the wrists and the forearms. Curl the toes. Press the hips back, just enough to feel sensation running up the forearms. You'd be surprised at how much tension we hold in our forearms. We do so much with our arms and our wrists and our hands. It's a really good idea to give them support. And then we'll shift the hips back, uncurl the toes, rotate the fingers to the edges of the mat, and then rotate the hands forward. Now walk the hands one hand placement forward. Shift the hips forward, keep the arms straight. Now, if you feel any discomfort in your low back, then don't lower the belly so much. If you don't feel discomfort at all, lower as much as you can. You might even feel the front of the hips connecting down to the mat. Now lift your hips, send the hips back to child's pose. Nice stretch in the arms. Lift the hips, press forward. Now we're getting mobility in the shoulders as we move and transition. Continue to move between these two postures. And simply notice where you're feeling this in the body and what little adjustments you need to do so that you're not feeling discomfort or pain. So remember, when you're shifting forward, listen to your low back. Don't lower the hips so much if the low back feels uncomfortable. Continuing to work on this shoulder mobility. Feeling into the hips. And then we're just going to ground down to child's pose the next time the hips come back. Now we can reach the fingers forward, feeling a deeper stretch in the arms, shoulders, upper back area. The forehead grounds down. If the knees are wide, we can feel a nice stretch at the hips. If the knees are together, then we can get a nice stretch for the back. Just find what you need. And then from here, lift the hips, shift forward. Now, if your knees slid out from hip distance, just bring them back to hip distance, and at the same time, curl your toes. Lift your hips, lift the hips way up high, press them back, down dog. Now, as you come into your down dog, find your alignment. Think about sending your chest towards your thighs. Maybe rock the hips from side to side. Maybe bend one knee as the opposite leg straightens. Maybe as you inhale, you shift forward to plank position, and then exhale, lift the hips, take it back to down dog. Just let yourself get acquainted here in your down dog, finding the option that speaks to you today. And then from here, slowly start to walk your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, bring your palms to your shins, half lift. And then exhale, fold, arms dangle. Now, as the arms dangle, you can leave them that way, or you can take your hands to opposite elbows. Notice when you take your hands to opposite elbows, you're getting more traction for the spine. So this is my favorite posture to do when I first get out of bed in the morning. This is a great way to release the low back, to decompress the spine, and to stretch the whole back of the body. Notice what's going on with your head and your neck and completely release your head and your neck so that the crown of your head is pointing down to the mat. Now, if your hamstrings are tight, bend the knees, soften. If the hamstrings are more open, you can straighten them. You can even bring the legs together and then take your hands behind your legs if you're ready for that. And remember, you want to challenge yourself, but you don't want to push yourself to where it doesn't feel good. Yoga is supposed to feel good. Now, here I like to bend one knee because on the straight leg, I can feel a deep stretch going up the leg all the way into the hip. And then switch it up to the other side. Try that. See if you like it. I promise you that if you have any aches or pains or body just feels cranky, you will feel so much better after yoga. So much better. Body's just telling you, hey, I need attention. Please stop what you're doing and let me move in a therapeutic way. This feels so good. I'm going to do it one more time on each side. And then release the arms. From here, take a micro bend in the knees, press your feet to the mat, and slowly roll up to standing. There is no rush. Take your time. Let your head come up last to prevent you from getting dizzy, especially if you suffer from vertigo or any issues with balance at all. Now, as we come into this standing position, which is called mountain pose or Tadasana, we're going to bring our arms by our sides, our gaze is forward, our feet are hip distance, and we want our feet towards the top of the mat. So I like to start off by just opening the toes, just like we did with our fingers. And I like to lift the toes and spread them. So I'm just like gently rocking towards the toes and then towards the heels. This little micro movement so that I can feel the foundation of my feet, really grounding down here in my standing foundation. Now I'm going to take the shoulders up on an inhale breath and then exhale, bring them back and down. A couple more times. And then relax the shoulders away from the ears. Now, I like to always say this because in my body I have a tendency to lock out my knees. Now you can see that when I lock out my knees, I've got this banana shape going on, and that hurts my low back. So whenever I catch myself doing this, I take a micro bend in the knees. You can take a little bounce here to remind yourself, and then pull your belly button towards your spine. Now that's going to be much more comfortable and safer for your low back. So think about doing that in your standing foundation. Micro bend in the knees, pull the belly button towards the spine. All right, moving with our breath. Inhale, arms rise up, fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold, just like we did before. And then inhale, rise up, half lift. Now, as we exhale, let's bend the knees so we can connect the hands to the mat. We'll step the right toes back, and we'll step the left toes back. Now, from here, we'll lower the knees to the mat, and then the elbows and the chest. Send the thighs and the front of the hips to the mat. Now, just lift the chest, gaze forward. This is our cobra. And as you exhale, lift the hips, extend the arms. Now, curl your toes back to downward facing dog. So that's a vinyasa. If the vinyasa is not working for your body, you can take child's pose instead. If you're in downward facing dog, inhale through the nostrils. Exhale, open your mouth, let it go. Let's do that again, lion's breath. Now stepping your feet to the top of the mat, inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, fold. Soften the knees, inhale, arms rise up, gathering energy. Exhale, bring the hands down the midline, hinge at the hips. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees. Now, you can step back or you can jump back. This is up to you. You can lower down knees, chest, chin, or you can lower down chaturanga. You can inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog or child's pose. 3 rounds of breath here. Make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gathering energy. Exhale, bring the thumbs down the midline. Open the hands. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Feet go to the back of the mat. Move through your flow or take child's pose. Child's pose or down dog, few rounds of breath. You can step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Feel those hamstrings a little more open now. Inhale, arms rise up, gathering all the energy. And then exhale, thumbs come down the midline. Remember, micro bend in the knees. Pull the belly button towards the spine, feeling more comfortable in your low back. And just pausing here for a moment. Give yourself time to reconnect with your breath. Noticing in this time the energy that you've created with your movement. Noticing your heartbeat and your breath, this pranayama, this life force energy moving through you. And from here, Look down to your feet. Bring your big toes together, leave a little space at the heels. Reach the arms up, interlace the fingers, pointer fingers, index fingers can stay straight. So the ears are now positioned between the biceps. Reaching the fingers up. As you exhale, take both arms over to the right, send the hips to the left. If you feel like you could use some support, if you feel a little wobbly, you can lower that right arm down, reach through the left fingers. Remember to keep that left bicep positioned above the left ear. Feel into the left side body. Another variation is you can take that right arm behind your back. And then inhale is going to bring the arms up to center. Exhale, take both arms over to the left, send the hips to the right. So option to let that left arm release down, reaching through the right fingers, right bicep hovering above the right ear. Maybe the left arm comes behind the back. You decide what feels good in your body. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, release the arms down. Now from here, shake out the shoulders. I'm going to give our joints some love. As you shake out the shoulders, start to move your arms, start to move your legs. Let yourself bounce around a little bit. You can do a little dance. Whatever you want to do, just let stuff go. Let tension go. This is really good for your joints. You might move the hips around in circles. Free movement. Do what you like in your body. You might take wrist circles. You might take ankle circles. Try not to think, just move in a way that your body is really enjoying. And then start to slow it down. Wherever you landed, make your way back to the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gathering all the energy. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Fold forward. And from here, planting the hands, come on to the right shin, come on to the left shin. Now we are going to come onto our bellies, coming into a prone position. And as you come onto your belly, first just stack one hand on top of the other, lower your forehead down to the mat, and just let yourself ground down, transitioning from standing down to the mat. As you inhale, feel your belly pressing to the mat. As you exhale, feel the belly soften. I find that this is also beneficial for digestion. Anytime you've got some stomach pain or something going on, laying on your belly usually helps to find a release. Now lift your head, gaze forward, bring your arms out to your sides, and now practice lifting your legs. So the chest, the head, the arms, and the legs are lifted, gaze forward. We've got a little back bend happening and activation for the back muscles. Let's hold for one more round of breath. And on your next exhale, go ahead and lower down. Hands can stack back underneath the forehead. Lift the head, come onto the forearms. So position the forearms underneath the shoulders. Just noticing how this feels. If this is too much for your low back, you can come out of it. Now just bend your right knee, shift weight into the left arm, lift the right hand. See if you can reach back for your foot. If your hand does not connect to your foot, this is where you can incorporate the strap, placing one end of the strap on the foot and the other end in your hand. Now, as you do this, you're getting a nice stretch for the quad muscle. you want to gaze forward and you want to square your shoulders. So if your right shoulder is back, see if you can square it, bringing it in line with the left. If you need more of a stretch, think about pulling that right foot closer towards your glute. If that's too much, then back out a little bit. Find your edge for one more round of breath. And then as you exhale, gently release, re-extend that right leg, bring the right forearm down to the mat, take a full round of breath. Now, bend the left knee, shift the weight over to the right arm, reach the left hand back, connect hand to foot or get your strap, and then think about how much you want to pull the foot towards the body. So in my body, it's a little aggravated on this side, so I'm going to give less of a pull. I don't want to hurt myself. Gaze is forward, try to square the shoulders, and just feel into the body. If this is too much for your low back, again, you can release. And now's the time to let the foot go. Bring the left forearm down. Gaze forward. Now, because we did some back bending just now, we are going to counterbalance that with some spinal flexion. So lower the chest down, bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Use your energy to lift your hips and at the same time straighten your arms. Bring your knees together, bring your feet together. Send your hips towards your heels. Now we're going to take the arms by our sides, lower the forehead down to the mat. Nice stretch for the back, flexion for the spine. And with the arms by our sides, we're letting the shoulders release. Child's pose is a great opportunity to reduce anxiety. It lets us downregulate by calming the nervous system. This posture is very beneficial if you're having trouble sleeping at nighttime. And if so, I recommend taking it for a longer amount of time, 3 to 5 minutes, maybe even longer, like 8 to 11 minutes, depending on if you're having those sleep issues. And on the next inhale, we'll let the head rise up, crown of the head all the way up towards the sky. Let the shoulders relax down away from the ears. Come back to your breath. You might take one hand to your heart center, and the other hand to your belly. With each inhalation, feeling the torso expand. And with each exhalation, feeling the body relax. Inhale deeply, taking in fresh, clean, new air. Exhale, release any stale, stagnant energy. And again. Exhale, sigh of relief. Now from here, we are finished with the physical postures. However, you can decide if you want to come into Shavasana. So for the length of our class that we had today, I recommend 8 to 10 minutes of Shavasana. This is entirely up to you. This is a really great opportunity to integrate all the work that you've done in your practice, and it's also a great opportunity to just relax and be present with yourself. We have this tendency in our culture to think that we constantly need to do things. We need to finish this, get to that, check things off our list. We can drive ourselves a little bit crazy and start to get really overwhelmed. So Shavasana is a great opportunity to take that time out to serve yourself and just let yourself be for a few minutes. All right, we've got 1,440 minutes in a day. It's totally okay to take 8 to 10 to just be. We don't always need to do. We can just be, and it's actually really good for us. So if you want to see that Shavasana shape, if this is unfamiliar to you, if you haven't really spent a lot of time doing it, today might be a day where it feels good to you. So just coming into that traditional shape of creating space between the legs and creating space at the armpits. You want to focus on tucking that chin towards the chest to lengthen the cervical spine. And then closing the eyes, bringing the gaze inward. Inhaling deeply through the nostrils. As you exhale, big sigh of relief. And again. With each exhalation, giving yourself permission to just sink down into the mat. If you're taking this option, let yourself stay here as long as you'd like. We'll close our practice here today. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to guide you in this beautiful practice. Namaste.